It would appear that Wendy Williams' ongoing health issues have just taken a turn for the worse that cannot be reversed on any level, mainly due to the fact that her son Kevin Jr. is currently crying outside about the loss of all of the resources. Wendy is unable to walk, talk, or even think clearly now that she is battling dementia, according to the most recent reports. This is because his mother is permanently unable to function as a result of her condition. They claim that she is a mere shadow of what she used to be, and the reason that they are divulging all of these details at this very moment is because of that vile documentary that was made about her lifetime. The documentary has presented a bleak depiction of her deterioration, which has attracted viewers as well as critics who speculate on the effects that her condition has had on her family. It is difficult for Kevin Jr. to cope with the avalanche of feelings and responsibilities that have suddenly been placed on his shoulders. He is experiencing feelings of being overwhelmed. From the beginning of the year 2024, and was titled "Where is Wendy Williams?" People have been looking for information about what is going on with her ever since her show was canceled, and they have been doing so in a somewhat curious manner. To tell you the truth, however, a significant number of you are of the opinion that the documentary in question should have never been released to the public. Wendy Williams has truly become the Wendy Williams Show, and it is extremely difficult to watch her struggle to live her life and accomplish some of the straightforward activities that she used to take pleasure in with such ease while she was on the show. In spite of the fact that it demonstrated that Wendy's health is, in fact, deteriorating, the documentary also revealed to us that Wendy does not have anyone on her side who is looking out for her best interests. Despite the fact that she is obviously having a hard time, her manager continued to talk about how she was doing well and was prepared to launch her own podcast series. A troubling reality was brought to light by this striking contrast. The people around her may be more concerned with making a profit than they are with her well-being. Due to the fact that Wendy's struggles appear to be ignored in favor of maintaining the appearance of a successful career, this raises the question of who truly has Wendy's best interests at heart. It is imperative that these individuals stop treating Wendy as if she were a pile of cash and instead view her as a human being who is deteriorating and requires as much medical attention as she can get right now. I really want to believe that Kevin Hunter Jr. misses his mother because, as you are aware, Wendy loves her son without a doubt, and without her, all he has left is an abusive, aggressive, and broke man of a father who is not even aware of how to take care of someone other than himself or being the active parent that Kevin needs him to be. But at the same time, there are some people who don't really believe Kevin Jr. because Wendy was out here funding his entire life, despite the fact that he is technically an adult. Despite the fact that Wendy was paid $85,000 for her documentary, Lifetime can continue to harp on and on about Wendy giving them consent. However, let's keep it simple. She is not going to ever give a story like that for just $85,000. I don't understand what you mean when you say that Wendy allowed these individuals to film her, obtain all of these details, and make millions off of her name for only $85,000. Something like that is something that she can make while she is sleeping and watching repeats of the Wendy Williams Show. Like, come on, let's be reasonable. There is no way that Wendy is going to allow anyone to take advantage of her story for a fraction of what it is truly worth because she is aware of her worth. If she ever makes the decision to talk about her experiences, she will do so on her own terms and for a monetary compensation that is significantly higher. There is also this whole situation involving her legal guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, and while everyone was dragging Sabrina for controlling Wendy, there was this whole thing going on. Just recently, this legal guardian has filed a lawsuit in which they essentially state the same thing. Despite the fact that Wendy was credited by Lifetime as an executive producer of the documentary, Morrissey is essentially claiming that the project exploited Wendy in some way. It was determined that she suffered from early-onset dementia and aphasia, and she lacked the mental capacity to give her consent to being filmed. Lifetime was aware of this. Everyone around her was aware of what was going on. If you want to play the role of the devil's advocate here and say that they were unaware of what was going on or that they were not informed, all you have to do is watch the documentary. Look at Wendy for a few minutes and notice that she is extremely vulnerable. People who are vulnerable, such as Wendy, are entitled to protection and respect, particularly when their circumstances are exploited for the purpose of receiving entertainment or financial gain. These kinds of decisions have significant ethical repercussions, and they raise questions about the responsibility of filmmakers to put the dignity and well-being of the people they are filming at the forefront of their concerns. For the sole purpose of gaining financial gain, the documentary did nothing but exploit her. Sabrina was under the impression that the project would be terminated immediately after Wendy was diagnosed with the condition. This was due to the fact that Wendy had not signed any contracts and was not in the right frame of mind to concentrate on her career or begin any podcast. Therefore, everyone from Wendy's publicist to her manager, and even her own son, sat down for this documentary, and many of them believed that they all had a hand in profiting off of her in a ruthless manner for the very last time. It was in the year 2022 when Wendy herself signed the rights over to this documentary about a lifetime. In the same year, Wells Fargo took control of the company, claiming that she was unable to run the business. Please explain to me how she is able to sign a legal document that permits cameras to be installed in your home during the same year that you are deemed to be an incapacitated person. In order to instruct you to sign a legal document of that nature, you are required to be a Compass MST. There are already lawsuits being filed by guardians. This is a terrible thing that ought to be taken off the air. At the beginning of this whole legal guardian thing, people had the impression that it was going to be similar to the toxic conservatorship that they had Britney Spears under. Due to the fact that we do not have a great deal of information regarding the legal guardianship, we are not going to rush to praise her. However, from the outside, based on the court reports, it appears that she is doing a respectable job of attempting to protect Wendy's interests with this lawsuit. On the other hand, we do not really know what the true motivations of a person are, so the only thing that can tell us is time. However, Wendy's family is not convinced, and they believe that she ought to be in their care. However, there is still a possibility that her family will blow off everything that she has left. Despite the fact that Wendy adores her son and intends for him to have the best possible life, her son lives a lavish lifestyle on the money that his mother provides for him. The impression I get is that he is not the kind of person who is knowledgeable about the management of assets or the preservation of the legacy that his mother has established. Now, Kevin Jr. has been defending himself against all of the allegations that he has been wasting his mother's wealth. He has stated that all of the decisions that he has made regarding his spending have been made with his mother's approval, and that she has never been a person who is willing to spend money. In point of fact, she never failed to encourage him to take pleasure in life and to get the most out of the opportunities that were presented to him. However, as the scrutiny from his family and friends becomes more intense, Kevin Jr. finds himself questioning whether or not he truly comprehends the responsibility that comes along with his inheritance. Despite the fact that we understand that there are times when you need to use discretion and common sense, the fact that your mother is not a poor person, that she has a lot of money, and that she tells you to go out and luxuriate does not mean that you should go and live as if the money is never going to run out, especially now that she is unable to work. Kevin is not yet prepared to deal with all of this, and his father, who is a bankrupt, trivial, and parasitic leech who cheats on his daughter, is not going to be much of a help either. Additionally, people are not particularly pleased with the situation that Wendy is living in at the moment. Citation: this is something that no one deserves. Wendy's diagnosis is pretty much the end of the road. Both of these diseases are on par with Alzheimer's disease. Memories are quickly lost, the present is a state of complete confusion, and the future presents a depressing way to pass away. Quote at the end, and another quote, "This is something that is extremely upsetting to hear. Wendy Williams has always been a personality that is larger than life, and it is disheartening to see that she is currently dealing with such difficulties." End quote. Additionally, I would like to quote that I did not enjoy watching the Wendy Williams documentary. It was extremely exploitative and very depressing, as it seemed as though she was still Wendy but merely a reflection of the vessel she were in the past. I pray and hope that she will recover quickly. Quote to end. Your thoughts on whether or not her legal guardian was correct in filing that lawsuit and whether or not her son ought to have complete access to her wealth are appreciated. In the comments section, please share your thoughts. I will see you in the next video, so make sure you give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Babes, farewell.